one year though.
Yeah, well, 57 was when they added on, that's when they moved all the kids down
Yeah.
to the north there. But I remember going kindergarten in the old building and,
Well, you're older than I am, so.
yeah, a few years.
Yes.
Only a year.
Yeah,
But he remembers a lot of stuff.
Yay.
He was on the other side of town from me, so.
yeah, he was way down to the east then, you know, highway divided everybody.
The wealthy side, huh? The good side of town.
How about that?
No, I'm just kidding. The newer side.
There wasn't a wealthier part of town back then. There was only a few houses that were any significant ones.
Which were they?
Well, the old Kleckner house and then
Lamb.
Claude Lamb was another one. There was about the only two that were really big. Yeah, compared to everybody else's.
Where was the Kleckner house?
It's where,
Macintoshes? They moved
yeah,
it?
where,
Oh,
They
to
swapped
that.
houses.
where
His
Pat has her,
Art studio.
Okay.
art studio.
That house was actually out where Pat lives now,
Okay.
and they flipped them when Earl died.
Yeah, after Kleckner's died, yeah.
So which is the real house?
It's
Isn't
out
it-
on.
The one
no,
out
it's
on the
out-
farm.
It's out
On
on
The
the
big
farm.
two-story out on the farm. Yeah,
Or John, but
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Elsie insisted that it was oriented the same way that it was in town, so it
Oh, you mean-
faced south.
position.
Yeah, it faced south, it had to face south out there too.
They had that big porch out front. I used to mow around that yard for years when I was a kid with an old 20-inch mower pushing it. Had that empty lot sitting next to it. I got a whole $3 for doing it too.
Which back then was?
Back then,
Yeah,
now.
back then, at least you're making money. It's
Yeah.
just like babysitting for
I
a
used to
quarter
do
an hour.
Yeah.
Flora Wheelers,
Yeah.
she gave me 2 for hers.
Well, I did Kleckner's, the Elsie, Jenny Hines's, then of course my grandma was right there too, and then, well, I ventured out a few years there into some other houses around the neighborhood. Queen Smith's old house, that was
Get
another
that
one
big
that
picture
did.
down, he can talk about some of them.
Yeah.
Across from Methodist
Yeah.
Church.
It'll
to the
take,
west.
Rhonda, it'll
Across
take
the
two
road.
people.
Okay, oh, yeah, you're
Okay.
right there in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna grab a picture.
Card. From
Hi.
Macmillan?
Yes. So it says greetings from Dunkerton, Iowa.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, they
And
just-
where is that?
I suppose they had sold them in the store
Yeah,
for
but
us
what's
to.
the scene?
Was the
The,
picture
yeah,
taken in
the
Dunkerton?
scene is not local.
Right.
Oh,
It was just,
okay.
yeah,
It's just,
something they sold.
yeah. That looks like a
Isn't that
river,
neat?
a river birch tree. Those are pretty.
But yeah, and then,
Cool. You know?
yeah, Charlie Potter.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. These are cool.
I've seen that picture
54,
before in front of a
55.
creamery like that. I don't know. 'Cause I think my
Grandpa Oliver's in it,
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Which one is that?
This
the
one.
one on the newspaper. It's actually hanging out there too, but it's not a very
Yeah.
good copy.
Yeah, I think.
What family is this?
That is in front of a
Bennington
school.
one.
It's Bennington #1 school.
Oh, okay. Do we know the people that went there that year?
No,
Okay.
we don't even know the year, do we?
Well, it says 54 and 55.
Oh, okay.
So
that
I thought Nancy's
graduating
supposed to be
class?
coming in, speed, and she actually went to Bennington one, so I'm hoping she can let us, yeah. Nancy Speed, Bob's,
Bob's new wife?
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
I didn't bring my glasses along, so maybe I can see something.
Ooh, dental tools.
No, that's a nice pick.
It probably could back then.
It had dual purpose.
Last year they have an ice harvesting thing out at George Wythe.
I didn't know that.
I think they
Or 2
usually
years
do
ago?
one as part of the Cedar Falls Ice House.
Okay,
And
okay,
with that,
okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Has that been scheduled now that there's ice?
I don't know.
Is there enough ice though yet?
That's the whole thing,
I
it was
wouldn't-
covered
I'd
with
be
snow,
worried.
it could be thin ice too.
Yeah, yeah, cause the snow can insulate, yep.
So do you wanna have them gather by the
Yeah,
photo?
we brought in a big aerial photo of the town of Dunkerton. And if you could help describe what is where, if you can recognize houses and who lived there and what happened here.
And help us date it,
Yeah.
because we don't have a good date. We have a 20-year range.
Well,
I used to deliver papers all around,
this
Well, good.
this is my old house.
Okay, let me see.
at least on the west side of the highway.
Okay.
You had two around there.
This is Claude Lamb's house here, a block up. This is Wissing's. Then, Clark Jones's family lived there.
So what was his wife's name?
Uh,
Is she the one
I
who
can see her. Yes,
we always called her the swearing Mrs. Jones.
yeah. Yeah, she did.
She was kind of
what
rough
was her
around the
name?
edges.
Wasn't she a war bride from Germany?
No, I don't think so.
She had such quite an accent to her, I know that.
Because I think she
Because Judy was in my
helped in
class.
the nursery at our church for a little while, didn't she?
Mm,
Watch kids?
No, I think
I
they
don't
were
think
there.
so.
Okay. That's not the one I'm thinking of.
And actually, that was a Dunkerton, originally that was a Dunkerton house. I don't know which one, but, and Elsie Smith was here.
Yeah, there was a little house in there that she
Yeah,
lived in.
that was actually, that's a garage now that
Yeah, I can believe
Rich
that.
Grady made into a garage. Then Muthers, the guy that ran the creamery for a while, lived there. And the home ec teacher lived up above. When Dick Milne was delivering papers, I'd go with him, and she was always making homemade donuts. So we'd-
Oh,
So where's the ice house?
the ice house is over. Let's see, we gotta go up a block and over. It's right in here.
Okay.
Chapman's was here. Smithlings lived there, but I don't remember. And Mushes at one time. Mushes lived there. Well,
And
this
the
has
ice
to be-
house building is still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mortenson's lived in it.
Okay.
That was actually Bob Speed's first wife's parents. Mortenson's.
Brenda?
Mortenson's, yeah, Brenda. So
what year
This
was
is a
aerial
Hayes.
taken?
well, it can't be because the station is not
Yeah,
not,
it's fairly
not the
new.
old station.
Yeah, that's fairly new.
The Phillips station used to be there.
Phillips and the DX getting
Yeah.
corner from each other.
Yeah, DX was here, but this is the mini mart, so that's the mini mart building anyway.
Well, the mini mart was where the Phillips was.
Right.
Yeah.
I owned it before the mini mart went in there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The corner cafe was there.
Because I worked for.
Ruth
So when
Rand's.
did you sell it? That would get us,
77?
so you know it's after 77.
The date range that I've got is 80 to 2000.
Yeah.
But, so the old fire station
Yeah.
is still
Right
there.
across from here.
And that house is gone.
Yeah.
So it had to be after the big flood.
Yeah, 'cause
But there's other houses that are still here.
Right.
Like this was the David Porter McGee. That's where the gazebo is. So that's still there. And
Those are all gone.
yeah,
I used
and
to-
this is the
That whole strip
veterans.
down
I used to
there.
live in that house.
Is that house
That
still
was
there?
Haldeman's.
So
That's
did
Haldeman's
we.
old
Yeah,
house.
we did
When
for
we
a
got
little bit.
married, that's where we went. That's
For
where
about
we
6
lived.
months.
From 77
From November to
to.
August.
Yep, yep.
Wanda Whittle
retired
Shears
78.
lived in one of those houses.
Yeah, the Holdeman house.
Yeah,
Dick
and that's
Grace
still
on the
there. That's
corner.
Which
And
one's
that,
the
that's the
Holdeman
old,
house?
that
That
one.
one right
Okay,
there.
and then
The old post office, that's still there as
That
an
used to be their
apartment.
grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The silo company was here.
Yeah, out behind there. And the community hall.
So is the train depot still there? Yeah.
It would have been right in there.
Is that?
That,
No,
Too
it's
big?
been gone for a long time.
Oh, what's this?
It burned down many years ago.
that might be it right there.
That looks like it, doesn't it?
I think that is it. 'Cause it's pop, let's get a
Yeah,
pop
that
out
would have
Yeah,
been about right
mhm.
where it was
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, I think that's it. So when did that get burnt, taken
Well,
down?
I don't know, that would help us date it.
Yeah. And all
The
of
big
it.
bins are not.
Yeah,
there.
no, I was just gonna say
Nothing
that.
was over
Nothing there
here.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah, because over in here is where the ready mix used to sit. Back in the day. Of course, then you had the hardware store sitting here and the drugstore and Wellness Cafe. Used to be a funeral home down there on Main Street too.
Yeah, that building's still there.
Yeah,
That's
Babe's
that one.
Beauty Shop.
That was that.
Yeah. And the old collector house used to sit over here. And
So there used to be a building next to,
that was a
That
tavern.
was the tavern.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was one
Don
of the
and
taverns.
George.
so that's gone.
Yeah.
Don Hayes and
There was two
George.
taverns on that side of the road at
Jensen
one
had
time,
that.
plus the Legion Hall.
Where was the Legion Hall?
It was down over in here.
Okay.
Yeah, right next to where Knievel's had the garage,
And that was there on
down
the
the
corner.
corner. And over here is where the Dunkerton Lumber used to be, where it burned down.
So which building was the creamery? This big one?
No,
Oh, Creamery was right along the creek. It'd have been back over in here.
I thought it was still here.
Probably.
this is it right here.
That might. Yeah, I think you're right there.
That's the creamery locker.
Okay,
Yeah, because the creamery was on this end, the locker was on that end.
okay.
Dad used to haul cream in there. Got a cream route, picking up cans from all the farmers around the area.
So that, David Porter McGee, that house was taken down after 2002.
Okay.
Which house?
So we're
is-
still in the 80s to 2000, this house,
Yeah.
where the gazebo is now.
Yeah. Because Clarence Miller used to live there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why I know that.
That's your grandpa.
Yeah, old Clancy. I worked with him up at school there for a couple of summers. Guys get pulled over and get speeding tickets, and they'd have to come up to him and go to court.
Yeah,
So he was in there from 44, and then Grandma and Grandpa, Warren and Charlotte, 78.
Yeah.
84 was Warren and Sally, and then 95, it was willed to Clint, because Grandpa died in 95. And then, she just said the flood was April 6th of 2002, taken down later.
A flood in 2002?
Well, 99 was when the
Okay, but so that's the aftermath.
aftermath, because
Recent-
Van Slikes were on the corner,
So then, okay.
right next to it.
so the old water tower is still there.
Oh, yeah.
When did that come down?
Not that many years ago. The new one's only been up for,
Dickie was around, because I know he was
yeah.
They'd have it in there.
with this.
And the FEMA trailer
He was,
is not there,
Yeah.
the post office. So the bus barn isn't there. Wonder if we could tell when the bus barn was built.
school would probably have.
That,
of that.
and the city would have the water tower.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to go out.
told my dad we should find that and drive it around and so he could identify these places. This would actually work pretty well.
Yeah, because they always talk about, well, so-and-so lived here, that's that farm, this farm is like, you don't know who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Greeley Humbert lived there. Simisters lived in that house. What was her name after that? The Simisters moved from there to the house that we used to live in before we moved over there. That's that one.
Bruce, why don't you come around on this side?
Add an appendage.
Oh, I did.
Greeley Humbert worked for the city
I thought it
and
was kind of.
walked across the Green Creek
Do you, any of these
No.
look
in the winter
familiar,
and killed
or no?
himself over there.
Probably. No, we'll have to open it.
Where did
I know,
I feel like
Morton
it should
Newsom
yeah.
lived?
Oh, I know.
Newsome's or Mortonson's?
And these we
Or
actually have
Morton's.
online,
Mortonson's used to
but you
live
still have to know which one
here.
you wanna get into.
It says Shimp, doesn't it?
Yes.
And Floyd and Glass Spees used to live
They
down.
lived right there.
Okay.
Something
Yeah.
from about the
Because we've heard mention of so-and-so down by Floyd Speeds. It's
Yeah.
like, where's Floyd Speeds?
Bartholomew lived next to them, the blacksmith.
Oh, okay.
Joe.
Yeah.
We've learned that.
And his blacksmith shop is still in existence.
Yeah.
That'd be down over here, yeah.
We started doing that and then we've learned
That was the shed they kept the,
the same birdies, huh?
had Tyler in.
That he invented.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Frida and Joe Dewey used to live right there.
Okay.
Remember him.
Is school.
And then
This is actual ledger from the
Heilman's
school.
lived there for a while, but then,
It's like a diary.
I don't remember her name.
Well, I don't know what.
Petey?
Petey?
No, her sister, his brother.
Yeah.
Fritz's brother lived there, and then they moved to Cedar Rapids.
So would this have been the old Grinnell farm? The whole
Yes,
area?
I thought I gave him.
yeah, we owned
I thought I gave him.
clear down into here and across the creek.
No, I'm sure you did. We have tubs down there.
And then Mom and Dad deeded this to the city,
Here's prices,
Something where Earl Bartholomew
and then
you know?
accounts for.
So
then
where
we
was the
sold-
farmstead?
Still have this.
This was the original farmstead
That
right here.
is, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where,
Yeah,
well, actually,
so
I guess the corn crib is still, can't tell.
So the barn would have sat,
The barn sat here.
okay,
That's the one that you see pictures of a building.
yeah,
I barely remember it. And then there was a corn crib that sat here. There was a chicken coop back there. And I think my mom always said that they used to have, when they were milking, they used to have a water cooled something or other for milk back in the back there somewhere.
We had to have a cooler to keep the milk cool.
Yeah, yeah. My grandpa used to deliver milk all over town.
well, my grandpa did too.
really old.
If we can look here, and then
Look at this one.
Cox's were there. The Ortners were down here.
Who was down there?
Ortners grew up down there, and my grandma and I used to live over here.
They couldn't have ice.
And,
Who lived in that big greenhouse, that older lady,
For next month?
across from Smith's?
who, Jenny Hines?
No, the other way. Down
Because
in,
this is all the teachers, what they paid.
This is for the.
you know which Smiths I'm talking about. Jerry's mom and dad,
Oh, Kenny?
Kenny Smith.
Well, my Aunt June used to live down there in that one big house.
The big greenhouse, where,
DeLong bought it, Harold.
But they paid
They
out
lived there.
okay.
for teachers, but then they also
And they-
had some
And Vanettas were on the corner.
Yeah. There's a, down in here, where is Kenny Smith's place?
supplies.
Well, that house isn't there anymore.
Well, I know, but where was it?
It was down over here.
Where was your house?
Would have been down right here.
Okay, so Kenny
There,
Smith.
Kenny would have been down right here.
Yeah, so there was a big greenhouse right here on the corner.
Oh, I don't.
That old lady.
Hank, Derringer?
Derringer?
I think so.
Okay, Mrs. Derringer lived there after he died, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he used to drive my dad's truck when they had the corn shelling business.
Oh,
So, you know, his
okay.
dad would recruit him when he needed him.
Then who lived?
Well, June was next to him, my Aunt June.
Okay.
And then there was kind of an empty lot between them, and then, over there was around the corner.
This was Cox's.
No, Cox's was, because we were right down here.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Cox's was
would have
right
been.
here.
Yeah.
And that house where Cummings used to live is gone. It's not there
And
anymore.
Ortner's.
Yeah, Ortner's is down on the corner.
They weren't on the corner.
Yeah, their house was on the corner.
It was?
Yeah, it was right on the corner.
I thought they lived right in there.
Show me your house,
4125.
now that where you grew up, I can't remember.
Right in here. Because right there's the old hardware store, and we were just a block up, and then over here, and then the original Kleckner house sat over here, and Jenny Hines is here, and Canfield,
My grandpa lived
Grimius.
in Jenny Hines'
Yeah.
upstairs while his house, that brick house on Dunkerton Road, was being built
Yeah.
after he got married to Ann.
And Minnie and Morty Geyers used to live here.
See, I don't know this end of town much at all.
Yeah.
I delivered papers, but I don't remember hardly anybody
And
on this end.
McGarvey's was right up here.
Dunkerton Road.
Yeah. And Turner's and Spear. Oh, I'm trying to think. What's there?
There was another spear down here, right?
Oh, Dick. No, Bob's. Is it Bob? Because there was
It might
a
have been
Spear that
Bob.
lived
It might
across
have
the
been
road
Bob.
from Daisy and Butler.
Yeah.
And some of them houses were people moving in and out of, they weren't there long term.
Here's another thing that might help us date, because those housing units.
Yeah, the senior housing's there.
That was there from the early 70s or late 60s, wasn't that put in?
Oh,
No.
'cause we-
Dewey's moved up there from their house.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
before
We have it in the
before Joe
1980
died.
to
I
2000 20-year time frame.
Yeah.
Well, the city would know that when senior housing went up, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Or is that like your?
yeah, that's been there long before any of this was.
Yeah. And you got, well, Shares is Nancy County, and then,
Maybe.
oh, I'm trying to think who built that house. I used to deliver papers there
That
too.
was Marie Bauer's mom and dad.
Yeah.
DW,
What'd you say?
DW McGee.
No.
No, it wasn't on McGee.
Jim Garen's was no.
Yeah, I should know it too.
I went and played in that house when it was being
That's what you're
built.
trying to do, is date this picture?
Yeah,
Because I can remember one time the circus come to town and set up on that empty lot.
That might be
I
a
helped-
thing to
Got in
date
for
by,
you for helping
because
set it up.
that's-
no
That's
bus
relative.
barn.
Yeah, the bus barn's not there, that's relatively new. This, I mean, what houses, this has all been extended. And this looped around.
Which is actually the old gym, because the
Yeah, because
There's
that's all
no-
filled in.
No Veterans Park,
Oh,
no
okay.
gazebo.
Okay.
The old depot is still here.
But just a few years
Gosh.
ago, he told me because the brick was separating from the block because of the SG.
Not very big, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, Cal, Tom Smock would know when that Veterans Park went in, wouldn't he?
Right.
Because
Was that
didn't he
like-
kind of spearhead
Was that
that?
like 2008 or something like that?
Something like that.
Newer than the big one.
And they had the tennis courts painted.
Yeah.
Lake Skimpus had water in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And no dredge.
It's like, where did they harvest ice around here? Because the river was deep enough to do that.
It must have been up, and that's
Well, I think that's why they had the rock dam.
right there. That's
Oh,
when did they
back
take?
up.
When did they tear out the
Well, that's a
The
good,
viaduct.
Viaduct,
That's
yeah.
been. When did they do that? That wasn't that
Many
long
years
ago.
ago. 10 maybe?
It's longer ago
So
than
I
you
wonder
think.
if-
I know.
I wonder if
I
they
believe
didn't
that.
harvest ice
So-
down in here, because the ice house was right there.
Well, they wouldn't have, the Lake Skimpus wasn't there till they put in the viaduct. That's where the fill for the viaduct came from, Lake Skimpus. That was why Lake Skimpus is there. So I don't know when they built the viaduct.
Two
but
in 2011.
Well, the rock dam was right,
Yeah,
right
it's
in
Still,
here.
it still is, the remains of it.
Some of
Figure
it,
that
yeah.
out.
It's not keeping back much water anymore.
No, it is not.
There used to be a swimming hole right there too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do it that way.
Remember Steve Heilman stepped on a broken bottle in
We
there.
can do that.
The crap
I
out
don't
of his
like,
foot.
I don't even
Well,
like walking, I always wear shoes when I walk in the creek.
I know we were swimming down by the old bridge one time.
I cut my
And my brother
heel
Doug, we had
once
a
on
picnic
a-
table
did you?
set up right
No,
next to
not
it. They
heel.
dug out a little hole there when they cleared that channel out.
Yeah.
He jumped in there and wound up on a pop bottle, old Pepsi bottle on his heel.
Swimming in the pond
Yeah.
where the
He left
cows
a
were
trail of
too.
blood all the way from the whole way home.
But that was clean.
Well,
Not.
we were kids, yeah.
She survived.
Didn't bother us, yeah.
I'm not- Well, you should be able to date it kinda close, cause the viaduct is gone. But the Veterans Memorial is not
Not
there.
there. And the old fire station is still there,
Yeah, the old fire station's still there.
right here.
So that means pre.
So between
flood,
here and,
right?
yeah, well, I thought this was after the flood. When did they take that thing out? Didn't seem like it was that long ago. But yeah, you're right. They're probably a long time ago.
This is yesterday,
You think
right?
5, it's probably 10.
That's right, and they're having a softball game or practice. Are there a bunch of people out here? I can't even tell.
No, I can't see.
There are a bunch of cars there.
There's a
though.
bunch of cars,
Baseball
but
diamond, softball
after
would
the
have been
game.
down here.
Boy, they had glass bottles, which kids always dropped and exploded, and then it came up here, and then they had those funnel cups that got dumped everywhere.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
have
I
the
was
plastic
gonna say,
base
how
and
do
just
they-
stick them on. And
They were brown,
Funnel
right?
cups.
brown, yeah,
Yeah, they were
brown
brown
plastic.
with a white.
Base, and they had kids would dispense the milk. That's why I thought
Yeah,
vaguely it seemed like you
it
were
might
one
have,
of them.
I might have been.
Looked what,
at one
try to
time. I
find
don't
it in
remember
the
doing
coaching
it.
picture.
I remember those, having to,
So,
the
in the
little-
19,
changing out the bags and stuff, and those things go empty.
Oh, I'm supposed to have lunch with my brother. I wish he was, I didn't even think about it. Well, he would've had to left way early to get up here, so.
Where's he at?
Marshalltown. He's going to see, we're going to have lunch with my dad, so.
So you don't have to.
So I'm leaving here relatively shortly.
See, down over in here would have been where Reardon's
Little bit.
lived.
Not too much on ice harvesting here, but a whole lot I'm looking at this.
Yep, that's
Reardon's
Dunkerton Road,
Reardon,
yeah.
yep. And,
Is Steve
There are
Schimp's
some
shop
items
there
in
yet?
that could be.
I don't know if you saw, there are some
Carlson's
items
lived
in
there.
Yeah,
Steve Shimp lived,
I saw
He
you.
said, I.
well, he would've had that a
well,
long time.
Hans were right here and Knievel's were right there.
I
Yeah.
had the big tongs, the ice tongs.
Those all came from Luann,
Okay.
because they lived down there close to where Ed Schwartz lived.
I'm looking for softball.
I'm
That's
trying
what
to-
I
I'm
understood.
trying to think where Ed Schwartz lived. I know where Ed Pileggi lived, but
I don't know.
Yeah, Pelagi was down over,
no, he was
He
way
didn't-
down.
He didn't live at the ice house?
Pileggi was here, I think, one of these
Show
two.
me where the ice house you keep talking about is.
The ice house was right here.
It's still there.
And still is there.
Mortenson's lived there.
Baseball.
You can't see it because of the trees.
There's a little house there?
Yep.
Somebody lives in the house right there. It's right on the end of the street
What's the
there.
name of the street? I'd have to.
Oh, this is
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
It's clear at the end on
Yeah,
the
and the
north
river's
side.
right
Is there a
here.
dead end? Okay,
Yeah,
it must be it. Okay. Drive
Smithlings,
down
remember
there and
Smithlings?
See,
Or Mushes?
Yeah.
Mushes lived in that house across the street.
Okay.
There was a trailer down here where Lears lived.
Trailer's still there.
Is it?
I think there's somebody still living in that old thing.
it doesn't
It
flood.
was old junk back.
We got cussed out. We had, kids were delivering paper. And of course, that was when you had to go collect.
Yeah.
And those people, you could never get, nobody's ever home. They were home, but they wouldn't. And I went up one day, cause they were like, it was just, and I pounded on the door. And I told them they needed to pay up. Some kid started cussing at me from the inside. He just
That's
cussed
probably
me.
Ricky. He was
Obnoxious,
the youngest one.
obnoxious little creep. And so we just quit. We just said, we're not doing it. We're not giving you guys any paper anymore.
When did you deliver papers? The Courier, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was Courier. The kids did that for a year or so. It was really
I'll
a
get one
pain.
yearbook.
We did it up in Mason City for a bunch of years, and that was nuts too. Things you,
We did it.
things you do for your kids' money.
Doug did it, and then I took over, and then the twins took over for a little while.
I did the register from,
Oh,
He was the early bird.
yeah, after Nick quit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I took it over from Nick.
So all three of you delivered paper.
Mm-hmm.
I did, obviously. And
Or your
I know
kids did.
That was your-
Ken and Mike, up
You
in
were,
Mason
you were an
City.
adult then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, up in Mason City, we did it. We had a big, pretty good sized route up there, but that was the same thing. I sure hated having, go around and collect money from people, cause they never
I
have
know,
the
I
money in their
hate
pocket.
that.
It's like,
Now, so
are
that
you
thing,
serious?
it drives me-
You don't have $2 available,
Two,
or whatever it
the
was.
worst one we had was, used to live, there was a house down here in the end of the street by the co-op, and Olson
There
was
it
the
is.
last name. He went 6 months without paying us, and finally one day, of course, I got stuck collecting, cause Doug, he was too afraid to.
I use
So,
the bottom instead of the
I went up
top.
and collected from him, it was like 20-some bucks, and it was 40 cents a week. That tells you how long,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, there's two of those.
we thought we could, gold.
Yeah, I remember the way, the time you got mauled by
Oh,
Swanson's
Swanson's
dog.
dog, yeah. Up there in the Jordan house, where
No,
Robinsons
they were up-
live.
It's awful.
That's where Robinsons live. I was right there in the breezeway, right up here.
Also, the dog got loose from
The dog got loose, yeah. I threw the paper in their breezeway and turned around, there was the dog.
My grandpa built that house.
Yeah.
That's volleyball.
Yep, go
so
down
how,
a little bit.
tell
There's
tell the story
softball.
about the dog mauling. Did you?
Well, he just,
did
he got loose and come up behind me, cause
Coach,
when I was delivering papers, I had my dog with me all the time. Well, that day I didn't, so
okay.
that was the next best thing to chew on, so.
So did he take you down?
No, he didn't take me down, but they had them
This is
front and back bags
the
of papers
new
in, those things were
playground.
kinda out of the way, but I
At
kinda
that
brushed
time.
him off, and he nailed me in the hand, and then he got me in the
Dog
back of the
best friend
arm, and
tell
I
us
jumped
about
in the
that, because
breezeway
she
until
was
somebody come and got the
big
dog.
in
and-
You got a couple
helping
face
fundraise
ones too, didn't you?
for the new
Oh, yeah, I
playground.
got
Now
across
we're gonna
here,
go back out.
From the same dog?
from the same dog, yeah.
What kind of dogs? You know, so-
It was
mutt or?
no,
Was
German
it a-
short hair.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
they're going back with a baseball bat.
Well, they
You started
kenneled-
carrying a squirt gun, didn't you? With
Yeah,
ammonia
with
in it?
ammonia, yeah.
Yeah, let's try that.
But they got rid of, we made them get rid of the dog, Thor, but,
Thor.
Thor was his name, yeah.
Yeah.
They turned around and attacked the new owner, and
There
that was it.
He met his maker.
He met his maker, and I'm sure he's not in dog heaven, so,
Devil dog.
yeah. He was a mean thing. But Swanson's got it, he was an adult when they got it, so I don't know where it came from, but.
That was Swanson's there, wasn't it?
Where was that one? Benson's lived on the corner.
Well, Benson's and
No, they-
McGarvey's had a house down there too,
But I think
and
it
then
also
Benson was right in
depends
here,
They were
That was
they were
Swanson's.
next door. I think
Yeah.
that's
Tom's,
Swanson's and
yeah.
Benson's was there.
and then where Katie lives.
Grandpa and Grandma Swanson lived there, right at the end of the street.
Yeah,
There's football, softball, baseball.
and then there was that little bitty house.
Shorty
there.
Smith lived up here.
Well, that's Canfield. No, he'd have been a block off of Canfield.
No, he was
Well, it would have
right
been
behind.
yeah, he would have been right here in the middle
yeah,
in here.
he was
yeah.
right behind Betty McIntosh's house.
Yeah.
That's not here.
Right there by the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, just right. You see the alley right there, and he was just on the corner.
weren't those little hut kind of
Because I
a
was
door?
thinking.
Betty lived in a house.
Whatever happened to that little like a chicken house
yeah.
thing?
Was
Whatever happened to
I
that?
think they tore it down and rebuilt after she,
Coach like that.
Because Betty's house was just the one further,
that was
just
right on
next
the
door
corner,
to it.
right on the corner.
Oh, 8.
Betty's was right on
She
the corner.
had a regular house.
She had a regular
Yes,
house.
but I don't know who lived in that little kind of a.
Quonset thing. I don't know.
Before the flood.
Because that's the one, the house where Betty used to live, is where they always rent it to Dow.
That was there, yeah, right in there, yep,
And they still do, I
They
think.
still do rent it out. Yeah.
yeah,
Because Lindquist lives on the corner there now where that Quonset used to sit.
Okay.
right, 92.
92.
Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Shorty, he lived there by himself, him and his dog.
He was your uncle?
Yeah, he was actually my grandfather's uncle. He was the youngest of generation beyond my granddad.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was the baby of that bunch. And he was like 97 when he died.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
easy.
I like that.
That one popped up right
Yeah,
away.
He did field tiling by hand.
Really?
and he dug a lot of pits for outhouses around town.
By hand also?
By hand,
Oh, my
by
goodness
hand.
sakes.
He had that old Model A Ford pickup. It's sitting down in Florida now, but
So,
yeah, he did a lot, a handyman around town. He always chewed on them old stogies,
Yeah.
never lit them.
Yeah. He was a tough guy.
Yeah, yeah. When he talked, he just kind of mumbled under his breath. Well, Earl B used to go up there and help him get a shower in every once in a while. We'd deliver coal up there, so he'd have something to burn to keep warm in that little house. Yeah, he was an old bachelor from day one.
oh, yes, Coach Rob Westervelt. So there is a coach.
Hour in these buildings,
Me too,
Doing what?
working for them.
working for them.
Like welding and?
Yeah.
Jim Hopley, he was not the happy character he is today.
Jim was kind of
I
gone.
have
when I
character
was,
today, so.
You work for them too?
Forever who braved it out.
Back in
yeah.
72,
Yeah.
I worked
72,
Do
73.
you have
worked
Chris
74
or
Elaine Simonson.
or 5, something in that range.
I
Worked
was-
two su- I did 2 summers with them.
I went to heavy equipment school. I ran out of high school.
Yeah,
And I came back and started moving dirt up here.
yeah.
Up here. I started moving dirt down here before Benton's came and did the rest of it. So, well, I stop in to see Jim every now and again. He's mellowed out a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boy, he was no fun to work with then, at all. Well, I remember that, you remember the big press in the back? Yeah, and I was scared shitless of that thing, cause there were no guards or nothing, man. You just shove in a hunk of steel, and if he felt like breaking it or shearing it, wham! And if you weren't careful, you know, this chunk, it'd flip up. It's like, I got it stuck one day by myself. I had a hell of a time getting it unstuck. There was no reverse on that
No,
thing.
that was just.
It was awful.
2018, 19, something
Was
like that.
OSHA not even involved at that time?
Not in a small shop like that.
Oh, baby.
They don't come in until you got a certain amount of people, or if there's
Well,
an
they had a
accident.
lot of people, but
It was,
almost had to have an accident.
Yeah.
it was kind of pre-OSHA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
I
was
ran
that?
enough- I ran enough presses and I've seen enough people get hurt
Alright.
on them.
I think I was one of the first ones to run
Thank you,
bought a
thank you.
wire welder at an auction. I think I was one of the first ones to get it.
I don't remember
Talk to you
that.
later, have a
Did
great
you know how to
day.
use it at that time, or was it a?
I was stick welding at that point
Grab
too.
me, 'cause it's got to
That's
go.
all I remember was the stick
So
welders.
it's gotta be 90.
Well, they didn't really like that wire welder. They didn't like the way it
And then
worked.
Just
Yeah.
grab the first.
They were still
few
stick
and then-
welding back when I worked down there back in the 80s.
Yeah.
well, no point spending money on something
Well, Mike
newfangled.
and John Reardon was down there, and of course Razor.
Razor.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. His daughter, I worked with his daughter for a while. It totally surprised me that when I found out who she was in the relationship, that was kind of wild.
Yeah.
He and his wife were on the outs one summer. You must not have been working there, cause I don't remember you there.
No.
Anyway, so
I had my
he
gas
had this
station
old, he
probably.
was living behind the shop, he ran out an extension cord because he got thrown out of the house. So he was living in his station wagon, and he lived in his station wagon, and so after work, he'd probably go, I don't know where he went, sand pit or wherever to wash off, and then he had a TV sort of stuck in his station wagon and stuff, and that's where he lived for the summer.
Interesting.
He was a character.
You still have that old blue chopper that he built?
I've never seen it. He comes occasionally with the blue Smurf to the car show. He's been here a couple times. with
Yeah?
The Blue Smurf. He
What
doesn't
years
rem-
did you have the gas station?
I bought it in 73 or 4. Right after Louis had it. I bought it from Louis.
Okay.
I worked there.
I would
in
have
high
been in the
school.
service when you did that.
I had it through 76 because they used my tank wagon to do the water ball
Yeah.
on Main Street.
Well, your dad used to work down there too. Did you drive
He'd
the
help
truck
me
for him?
out. He'd help me out. But he worked in Waterloo at Phillips.
Yeah, I remember him working there too. He used to do delivery truck around there too.
Oh yeah, he'd deliver out to me.
Yeah, that wasn't too far from where I worked at. Where he was.
Oh, see, it's
My dad.
See him.
This
see
was
Come
him.
on.
interesting.
Yeah,
Thanks
Come
for
hi.
coming, Bruce.
I don't think I contributed anything about ice harvesting for sure.
Well, I don't think any of us have.
Yeah.
We're reminiscing about some stuff.
yeah.
We always had.
Unless you got one of them great big saws they used to cut through with.
Yeah. That's what yeah.
Ron, did you ever have any luck getting a hold of those?
I left 2 messages on 2 different people's answering machines, but never got back to me.
There's got to be.
Are you trying to help us date?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
If there was new diamonds, they would have put them in the books.
I would hope so.
The building, and then it blew over fairly quickly, but then a little while later, we heard that Bullwine got hit with a tornado that day. I'd have had been a freshman, I think, that year. Or sophomore, one or the other.
Okay, I left a message.
I think that's when.
Sirens go off in town?
No, not in Dunkerton. I don't even know what we had no, there was a town siren, but there was no warning system back then.
Really?
We have one siren.
They did have a system, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, the only horn or siren they had was right down by the old fire station.
Right, but everybody in town could hear it.
Yeah. That was the only one.
Noon and 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep. That was all the dinner bell. Kids, you heard that blowing, time to go home.
Life is different in the big city, isn't it?
You go home or go hungry. Take your chances of anything being left.
Mom and Dad didn't have to worry about you back then, though.
Oh, no.
That's
No.
right.
They had eyes and ears all over the community. And everybody knew who you belonged to.
And if you got in trouble, your parents knew about it before you even got home?
Mm-hmm.
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 I can't believe they didn't.
Remember one night we got in trouble. Old Linford Bauer come down to our place and sit out front talking to Dad for a while.
That's our old one.
We were watching the whole thing and I said, yeah, it's getting time, we gotta be in the house. So
All would have been.
I got up, went in the house, and walked right by Dad, and he said, I'll talk to you later. Doug didn't come home right away. Boy, I was thankful I came home when I did.
What'd you do?
Oh, we were having a contest to see who could hit the tin around the street light
That was elementary.
With a rock?
with a rock, yeah.
So what year is this? This is.
And then Ron McGarvey, he just happened to be the one that
So we can get
hit
rid
the
of
bulb.
that.
Well, he was,
in Linford was out in his garage.
he was pretty good.
I remember the first year he went out for baseball, and coach looked at him and said, how many years you been playing? And Ronnie says, oh, this is my first year to go out. He kinda like, huh?
Well,
He had the talent, he
yes,
was
he did.
athletic.
I can remember playing ball in where Glenn Lummis's house is,
Yeah,
right next to Dorsey's. We
Yeah.
used to play ball there.
yeah,
Yes.
I was,
you did
I'm in
pretty little.
I was pretty little, but he was Willie McGovey all the time.
Who was that?
Willie McCovey, oh, he was a good,
Baseball
He
player?
played for the Cubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Braves were his team. Warren Spahn was always his idol, Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, all them guys.
Well, he used to let me play. That was,
Oh, Ron didn't care, all he wanted to do was play baseball. He'd spend hours up there throwing that tennis ball against the side of the house, imagining in a game.
No softball.
Thing of it wasn't a smooth blockhouse basement either, it was one of them stone looking ones, so that tennis ball would go every which direction. That's where he got so good at fielding stuff. He's still got a monster baseball card collection.
So it has to be
I ask him every once in a while, I said, how many you got? Well, I think he said 6,000.
after 88.
Right.
my son-in-law's trying to get rid of his.
Yeah.
Price has gone way down.
Oh, have they? Yeah, we used to buy a lot of them.
Yeah, that doesn't,
No,
doesn't give us anything.
Go down and buy a penny baseball card,
exterior.
piece of gum and a card per penny.
So that's,
Ron would go down there with $1 and get a whole 100 of them.
There's 92.
We never had that much money to spend.
He was that much older than us. Was he a couple years older than me?
2 years older than me. And he got in trouble at our house one time, we had a little corn cob fight going on. And Dad came walking around the corner and he nailed him right in the forehead with a corn cob before he ever realized who it was. Dad got hold of him and kind of lifted him a couple times with his foot. And after that, Ron called up and said, "Your dad home?" "Nope." "Oh, I'll be down then." Dad was home, he said, "I'll meet you in the alley," so.
Yeah, it's before that.
How you doing, girls?
Not, they don't, they need to take the picture on the field. I just decided that.
Hindsight is 20/20,
Yeah.
huh?
Instead of.
see, this one's on the playground, but you can't see
But if they had
beyond
brand new
that.
diamonds, wouldn't they have showcased them
You would
in the
think so.
year that,
Yeah,
yeah, and there's,
Well, I would think there would be pictures of the girls and boys playing on the new diamonds.
there you go.
There- But no,
No,
they
there
do
isn't.
one, there's a team
just
photo.
team
and that's
photo.
No action photos at all?
it.
None of them.
Must not have been a very good year.
What kind of an annual staff was that?
Must not have been a very good year.
All of them are just single one. Yeah.
Like that was looking through our annual for us.
Okay.
senior year, it was like,
Pap's daughter Jessica is
there
in
were a
this,
lot of
on this
action
team.
shots of
for
different
95.
people.
So we could
Different
text her and
setups.
ask her, did she play on a new diamond or the old diamond?
Okay.
Then we
I
would have a
couldn't believe it was
range
a
that we
photo
know
of a
it's between,
Marching band down on Main Street
Probably
there in front of the
89.
community hall. There used to be some old Quonset huts set down in here too. There was a farm.
Yeah, they were there right here. I used to work out of those when I was working for Hopley.
What were they, just storage or?
Yeah, basically, he kept a couple of cranes in there, a bunch of steel, bin parts.
And look how empty Bar Hop is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing out here to speak of anyway. And these, when were these built?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And Luann would know when these were,
Oh, yeah, because those whole 2 blocks are empty. This would be where the library is, that'd be where the city hall is.
Library's been here 10 years.
Yeah.
that's 13.
Well, something that I looked up had me at 2,000. So 80 to 2,000 in there.
Yeah, because all the houses that used to be along here. Trying to think who all lived down there. Myers.
Well, Nick Knievel used to live here.
Yeah.
Annie Myers used to live in this corner, didn't she? Or was it this?
It was right.
Or was it this corner?
No, right
This
here by
corner.
the.
That corner or that corner?
No, it was right here
Okay.
because the hardware store was right there.
Mollers used to live there.
Yeah.
With Sal Hopley's mom and dad. Archie and what was her name? Who lived here?
Well, I think that's where Kent and Summerlot was at for a while until they got flooded out. Then they tore it down with all the flood stuff. There used to be a little house that sat on here, and old McGrew's lived in there. She was a school teacher up Dunkerton, Mike, and
I used to have her for fourth grade.
yeah, she was fourth grade. They lived in that little house for a while. Then John Adams lived in it for a while.
Maybe it was something like 25 cents or
And
something like that. But I
So do you know which houses were moved in from Leicester?
That would solve it.
Because some,
oh,
you know, besides the Baptist church, which would be right
yeah,
here,
right there.
there were some other houses that
I'm
moved in.
not aware of any houses. that
Hi there.
moved in.
Hi.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce.
That's the only one I ever heard about was the church being moved in.
Okay.
What's that?
Oh, we're just
From
trying to
Leicester.
identify, partly we're trying to date this. We
Unless
know
these
80s
houses were moved in. Because there was no, my great grandma lived there for a while, and she had no, I think she had an outhouse and no running water.
McGarvey's had that, an outhouse anyway, at their house for till the mid-60s when they put the city sewer in.
Well, there was,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they had that. When you got 8 daughters,
what
there was a
was
lot
his
of
That
good
must have
paths
been,
right between
that
the
must have
houses.
been really congested in the morning, I bet.
You know, yeah.
what was his name that used to work for the county? The state, I mean. What was his name? Used to
Yeah, I
come
know who
over
you're
and buy
talking-
cigars at the gas station all the time.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like, I'm looking at this kind of upside down.
Here, you wanna come around on this side?
What are you actually looking for?
Well, we're trying to identify
The date?
where people lived.
Well, there was a
And-
Greeley, but did he work for the county or was that work?
He worked for the
Any
city.
landmarks
And
that
he-
aren't there anymore.
He
Well, I
killed
thought
himself.
about-
Yeah, he lived down
I
over
thought
on the east side
about-
of town
See,
somewhere.
my
He
grandfather
lived
had
right
written
there.
about
Well, no, not right there.
a
Right
lot
there.
of stuff going on here in town. But unfortunately, he identified things by people who have been dead probably 50 to 70 years. He'll say, oh, thus and such happened.
Hanging out after the game.
So the old, whoops,
And there's a bus sitting
We
there
wanna
too.
see-
old water tower is still there.
Okay, that's the new, so that's new, that's the new.
Can you see the name on that bus?
Yeah, there you go. You can date it there. Look it up.
Zoom in
Baseball
on
had to
it.
have been in the springtime.
So what's the new one there?
The what?
This is 2002 when they built on the
New.
new,
It's not.
yeah. Had a
No,
new lunchroom and the weight room.
It's gotta be between
That's 2002.
80 and 2000.
2002.
80 is
See when the bus barn,
the bus barn?
that was after that.
That was 22 years ago?
it was that, what, it was,
The bus barn was after.
okay.
The older you get, Bruce, the
Right,
faster
yes.
it goes. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
all kind of blurs together.
Living it.
So what else can we,
Yeah, because the new gym and stuff.
Isn't in here.
No, it isn't.
And when they built the new gym here, that building was taken down and this building was actually moved backwards. So it was farther over here.
Yeah, because that's where they had their bus.
Yeah, that's where they
Buses.
parked the buses was right there until the bus barn was built over here.
Because I know the gym, they finished that right around 2000, wasn't it?
It was like
There's a bunch of buses,
2003
too.
that it was actually finished. They started it
Oh.
in 2001.
Yeah, it might be, because Daniel said he got to help lay the floor in the gymnasium. In his industrial arts class or whatever you want to say.
there's it.
most anticipated opening was the lunch school began using the new kitchen in Commons. Wow.
Yeah.
Used to get closer.
So,
Mm.